just saw a really cute dog outside and I just wanted to like have a look at it properly. So hello, welcome. Once again, these videos will not be complete without the presence of Zelda. And today we're going to be talking about delayed games. So I have come to the conclusion that I have the worst luck when it comes to video games because all the games that I have gotten really excited for have ended up turning to shit one way or another. Famously, at least in my personal life, I was very excited for Cyberpunk 2077. I don't need to explain what happened. You know what happened. I hope CD Projekt Red can turn that game into a proper game, you know, the patching and stuff, but we may never know. My fringe doesn't know what it wants to do today. But today there are two video games that I want to focus on, and that is Bloodlines 2 and Hogwarts Legacy. Now we're going to start with Bloodlines 2 because Bloodlines 2 is a really depressing situation and I'd rather get, you know, the depressing shit just gone out of the way, if you get what I mean. So I think Bloodlines 2 was announced either 2018 or 2019, around about that time, and I was very excited. And then a lot of my content on YouTube got very popular because I talked about Vampire the Masquerade like a bunch. Because you guys were excited too. And then the delays started happening. And then the first looks at the gameplay started happening. And then more delays started happening. And then of course the firing of Brian Mitsoda, which still... pain. That hurts still. And then finally the indefinite delay that happened with Bloodlines 2. When is it coming out? We don't know. The developers don't know. It's a whole shit show. And the reason that I wanted to talk about delayed video games and bringing up Bloodlines 2 specifically is kind of just to address like the dangers, I guess, of getting too excited about a video game, which of course we all felt with Cyberpunk. You know, we all know how that ended and what is currently going on with that, but it all comes down to hype pretty much. When you know, hop on board that hype train and you're chugging along on the tracks, you're gonna really feel it when that train derails due to delays or some kind of mishandling of the game during development. And I think that can be pretty dangerous. I'm not saying like it's a danger to society as a whole, nothing like that. I just mean like for the soul, you know? I was so excited, and now every time Bloodlines 2 or anything related to Bloodlines, like that game, comes up, I just dread reading the article or hearing about the news because it's like, oh geez, what's happening now? It's a sad time. Oh, and Zelda wants to join. Hello, Zelda. So yeah, when it comes to hype, like I was really hyped, and then because I built up that hype so much, I ended up getting really let down by the time, you know, that news happened. You want to be free? You never want me to hold you. Zelda, you can be free without biting me. Nope. Yeah? You want to go? So violent. What got me so hyped in the first place about Bloodlines 2 was definitely the fact that it was a sequel to the first Bloodlines game. I love that game to pieces. And hearing that the original creator that worked on the first game, Brian Mitsoda, was involved, that also added to my excitement. And the first initial trailer that we got, like, really sold me immediately. I like the idea of being thrown into this darker version of Seattle as a Finn blood, you know, that really appealed to me. And I think the main takeaway is that when you do get that hyped up, and there's nothing wrong with getting hyped up, of course, you know, that's what makes a lot of good games, is that hype that's built up by the community or fans of, you know, the franchise or the game itself. But I think my main takeaway from at least the Bloodlines 2 situation is just to don't let yourself get too absorbed by the hype. Regardless though, I am going to keep my eye out for Bloodlines 2 news and keep myself updated with it because I do want to play it. Just my spirits have been drained dry, if you will. Now on to the next game, Hogwarts Legacy. So if somehow you're out of the loop, Hogwarts Legacy is an RPG that is based in the universe, not the story of Harry Potter, but in the universe that Harry Potter takes place in. And I'm really excited about that game. I still am. Not too long after we got the official look at the trailer. Actually no, it happened like a day before we got to see it. Like the day before the trailer began, this happened. If you're not aware, J.K. Rowling has begun to show her turfy colours in the past recent few years on social media, and sadly that has soured a lot of people's opinions of J.K. Rowling and even as far as the Harry Potter franchise as a whole. Now where do I stand? I still like Harry Potter. I mean, J.K. Rowling, I'm not going to be able to deny that she created Harry Potter, although I can easily say that, you know, Harry Potter just appeared out of thin air. We don't know how that series got here. Just one day, Harry Potter existed. Don't know how it got there. Part of me wants to think like that, but also reality-wise, J.K. Rowling did create Harry Potter. That's her brainchild, if you will. That being said, if you grew up loving Harry Potter, or Harry Potter had like an impact on you, like as a child, I wouldn't discredit that just because of J.K. Rowling's opinions. Like, that's your experience, not hers, you know? The feelings that you have reading through the books are yours and yours alone. And no author can really dictate how you feel during a story. Like, your own personal feelings, like, that you felt reading the story, those are yours. Always keep those precious to you. Now with Hogwarts Legacy, because of J.K. Rowling's turfiness, to put it very lightly, a lot of people aren't looking forward to the game because they don't want to give money to something that is associated with it. Now, since the last trailer that came out, the game has in fact been delayed until next year. Now I was really excited about the game coming out this year because COVID's been happening and, you know, you can't go places, so having a game to look forward to, you know, really helps you in these times. And then that just got, like, the release date got Thanos snapped basically. But unlike Bloodlines 2, it is still confirmed to be happening. Now, I mentioned that I wanted to save Hogwarts Legacy as the more positive part of this delay video, and then have Bloodlines 2 as being the more, not negative, but kind of like the sad part of the video. Because despite J.K. Rowling's controversy and wild batshit opinions, whether it be about trans people or also the weird canon, I'm saying canon with quotations because I don't take anything that she confirms after the book's finished as canon. Anyway, that's a topic for another time. Now the positive part is that even if you don't like J.K. Rowling, I genuinely believe that you should support the developers of this game. It's our first open world Harry Potter game where you can make your own character, and even go as far as to, you can be trans in the game. You can choose your pronouns. So even if J.K. Rowling is a giant, like, hole in a sock of a person, don't let that discredit the developers, because they're clearly working hard to give us representation that we want, you know? That's the big thing about, like, delays and bad news surrounding delays, is sometimes you get stories like what's happening behind the scenes start to circulate in the media, whether they're good stories or bad stories, saying like, this is what this part of the development team wants to do with the game, and then here's what's happening with the higher-ups that's really messed up and it's going to change how you feel about the release of it. I would hate for these developers to get the short end of the stick just because of something that an author who is not connected with anything in the story has said or done on social media. This game deserves all the love that we can give it, and in terms of hype, the difference between Bloodlines 2 and Hogwarts Legacy is that the hype for Bloodlines 2 was up there. And then due to the J.K. Rowling controversies, the hype for Hogwarts Legacy is down here in comparison to Bloodlines 2's hype levels being up here. So I think because that hype level has died down for 3/4 of the Harry Potter fans or gamers that like Harry Potter but are disappointed by J.K. Rowling's actions because that hype has died down for them, I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised when this game comes out. The point that I want to get across is just, when it comes to excitement levels for video games, I would say being excited is good, it's fun, you know, the developers deserve love, and the communities deserve that chance to get together, be excited about something before it releases. But also sometimes that hype can be very dangerous, especially when it comes to like hype around a long-awaited sequel, a game that everyone has been wanting for like 12 years. In Azkaban, games of prolific developers that in some gamers' eyes could do no wrong, or stuff like that. With those factors tying into like what gets people hype, it can be kind of dangerous, you know, just for the soul. And that's, I think, is a big part of why a lot of gamers get let down, because we get excited. It's hard not to get excited, but at the same time I think keeping expectations positive but not too like over the moon will be a big part of, you know, enjoying a game more. And as for delays, sometimes they can make a game or break a game. Could potentially make a game with Hogwarts Legacy, and as for Bloodlines 2, we're just going to have to wait and see whether this indefinite delay with changing different developers and all the shenanigans that's happened with Bloodlines 2 either makes or breaks it. All we can really do is wait. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to sit down and have a chat about something I've been thinking about for a really long time now, and I've wanted to make a video about delays and hype expectations for a while now, but I haven't really thought of how to put it together in a video. Conveniently, Cyberpunk 2077 being the grand example of, you know, why you should be careful with getting yourself too hyped up, along with Bloodlines 2 and Hogwarts Legacy's delays. It kind of just tied in together well enough for me to be able to, as best as I can, even though I have a speech impediment, articulate that to you guys through this video. And this is Icewire signing off, and I'll see you together later next time on the channel. Have a lovely day / night wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!